we've had planes crash into level 4 of the World Trade Center, transmit a second alarm, and start relocating companies into the area.
We're going to think positive because you got to help each other get off the floor. Now, stay calm, stay calm, stay calm, stay calm. You're doing a good job, ma'am. You're doing a good job.
It's so hot. I'm burning up.
The other tower just collapsed. Raise the collapse. Raise the collapse. Urgent. 289's in Manhattan. Urgent. The World Trade Center's collapsed. Building 2 has collapsed. Okay.
The reason the United States invaded Afghanistan in the first place is obviously because Osama bin Laden had moved his operations to Afghanistan a number of years earlier, and that is where the basic planning for the 9/11 operation took place.
There's a natural emotional overhang still in the United States from the events of September 11th. We feel that we're facing a global enemy that's ruthless and evil.
Unfortunately, no one wants to understand what is Afghanistan. I believe Afghanistan is not a very complicated country, but yes, it's a complicated situation. It's not an impossible issue to bring peace for Afghanistan. It's a bit difficult, but we can try our best whenever we got one vision for Afghanistan and one goal.
No, I don't know the difference.
I do not know the difference between the Taliban and Al-Qaeda.
Sort of. I probably couldn't really explain it, but heard about both. Yeah.
I have no clue.
I don't know who the president of Afghanistan is.
No idea.
I do not know who the president of Afghanistan is.
I do not know who the Pashtuns are, actually.
I do not recognize that term, actually, no.
Heard of him? Not really.
It's accurate to think of Afghanistan as a Muslim country. For our purposes, it's even more effective to think of it as a Pashtun country.
The main group in Afghanistan is the Pashtuns, constituting perhaps 40% of the population. They live along the Pakistan border.
If you go to the rural areas of the south, this is the Pashtun heartland.
We fail to understand the essential principles of what's called Pashtunwali, which is something like Pashtunness. And that tradition says this: do not invade my woman's dressing room, do not invade my house, do not invade my complex, do not invade my village, do not invade my country. We have done all of those things.
And when they lost a family member, they lost a home, someone was injured, Afghans immediately expect an apology and they expect compensation.
There are things that we consider to be not particularly important, but the Afghans see as potentially violating their honor code, and hence it's an easy way to, to make enemies. Particularly if you're unfamiliar with this, you might not even know that you're doing it.
There's the Taliban, that's one thing, and Al-Qaeda is something very different.
Al-Qaeda is made up of Arabs that are coming from the Gulf areas.
Al-Qaeda is an organization of foreign fighters, a global organization that is dedicated to coming to wherever there are Americans who can be targeted.
Right. Al-Qaeda talks a lot about global jihad, about attacking New York, attacking London.
But the Taliban is something different. The Taliban is a product of Afghanistan. The Taliban has broad support inside Afghanistan.
They're all local Afghans, mostly Pashtuns. A lot of people see the Taliban as a force to keep away criminals and bandits, and as a force to deliver a version of sort of harsh law and order.
But I think their greatest strength is that they are seen as having more rights than we to be there, because they are sons of Afghanistan. I am very skeptical that we have learned the fundamental lessons of how to interact with these foreign cultures.
The greatest misperceptions of Afghanistan that Americans have is, first of all, that they're Arabs. Nobody speaks Arabic in Afghanistan.
They see international forces as having come to their country with promises of peace and aid, and what they most often see are examples where the aid hasn't gotten to them.
It's the American military, by our own leaders' words, that's guaranteeing the security of the Afghan government.
In Afghanistan, it's a very bad thing to promise what you can't or won't deliver.
We need to remind ourselves, we are not Afghani. We are sending hundreds of thousands of people into these countries who do not share the religion, who do not understand the culture, who do not have kinship relations with local people, and who do not even speak the language.
Just because it's complicated doesn't mean that you can't understand it.